Hey everyone, welcome to 25 Days of Christmas with ArmensCraftRoom Violet Studios Home for Christmas. We are starting out with the Paper Rose Studio Snow Globe and adding some evergreen Alta alcohol marker onto the branches of the white glitter tree. This will give it a snowy tree effect. If you'd like to see the component made for this card, check out the supply list video that was out previously. That one has all the supplies we're using in these cards, as well as the building of these snow globes and the backgrounds that you see on my desk here. These components will be used throughout the series. I got a ton of cards out of this product. This product was received by me in a Christy Marcotte mystery D-stash box over the summer and was really exciting. I got everything Violet Studio except for the paper pad. It was awesome. These cute little cards are part of the card toppers, and I want to stick them in the snow globe because I think it's a cute little scene, but white glitter paper is pretty hard to stick things to, so you need the super sticky red tape strip, and you just need to put a strip wherever the glitter is going to be. You can peel the backing off with a weeder tool to help keep your fingers clean, and then add regular adhesive on the top of the die cut, which is where it's going to adhere to the navy blue cardstock. All right, we've got two scenes made there. I'm using the mini tags as sentiments. Although they have holes in them, you can cut the holes off to suit your needs. I think I've cut them off in every single card that I made. So some of these are sentiment sounding and some of them aren't, but we found some good Christmas ones here. As it's a kit, they all go really nicely together. And there's quite a few in here. I think I got the entire package in that D-stash. I mean, the amount of product from Violet Studios that was in my D-stash box was absolutely phenomenal. The card base you see there in green, that's also from Violet Studio, and they're 6" by 6" square, which is the largest card I think I've ever made as far as the square is concerned. I'm checking out the different card bases that came with it against the other components, because I do want to use all the square card bases, and I want to make sure that I like the way things look. So I did opt to go with the vanilla for these Slimline snow globes, and I'm pulling out the 6 by 6 little lumberjack pad from Echo Park. I purchased this a while back to go with my lumberjack Christmas paper stickers from Echo Park as well. There's a couple plaids in here that go really nicely with these little snow globe scenes, and as it's 6 by 6, we're going to want to trim it down to get that vanilla border. So I'm trimming it down to 5 3/4" square. And I'm going to reserve the extra 1/4 inch for the interiors of the cards, so don't toss those out. And I also had 2 packs of the ribbon come in my mystery D-stash, so I'm using here the green that has basically snow on it. It looks really similar to the snow on the Paper Rose snow globe. It's a little hard to see in the video, but it's the splotchy kind of snow, and I'm just taping the ends underneath in the back. This way the sides don't fray on the card and it stays looking whole. I'm adding a ton of adhesive to the back, and I'm covering it with 120-pound white cardstock scrap paper. I'm not covering the ribbon, just everything around the ribbon, and this will help the card lay flat on the front. So if you don't have 120-pound or any type of cardstock that's the same height as your ribbon, you can just layer up multiple layers of thinner paper. The more thin paper you use, the more glue you're going to use, the heavier it might become. So every time you do this, just know that it is going to add some weight. You could use foam tape instead. There's a lot of options here. This is just what I had, and I like to use up the scraps when possible. No one's going to see it, but it adds a nice weight to the card and keeps it level with the ribbon. And we're going to add some adhesive to the snow globe, and I recommend flipping it over on the front of the card here if you're going to do the foam adhesive, because you want to make sure that you do not get any foam adhesive where the ribbon's at. And the reason for that is because you'll get a weird lump in the front of the card and it won't lay flat. So if you want it to lay flat, just leave a gap for where the ribbon goes, foam tape the rest. And I do play around here with the idea of adding a banner or other icon there, but I decided I like the way the card looks, so I wanted to add just a little bit more sparkle with the gems that came in the kit. And these were most of a sheet that came in. She's very generous in my mystery box. I had a lot of great D-stash products. Got a couple dozen of these cards, and just sprinkled quite a few gems around. I'm not really worried about the number of supplies because the cost of a D-stash box, like per item, is insanely great, so you can make the cards a little nicer. I am decorating the interior with the branding strip, which is why there's a hole in the center. Now, the paper is 6x6 and so is the card base, so the branding strip hole is right in the center of the card. So I'm going to take some mini tags and trim the holes off of those and then glue it on top of the hole on the interior, so that little mini tag will end up being centered and it looks really good. It is intentional to do that and it covers up the hole. No one will ever be the wiser. So it looks like you designed it that way on purpose just for the sake of having it that way. And there's card 1. For card 2, we're going to basically, I was thinking about just gluing it straight down, and then I was like, you know what, I got a lot of ribbon. Let's put some ribbon on and make these pretty similar. So I opted to go with the same ribbon here, and I've already glued the back, which makes it a little bit more challenging. So I'm putting a tab on the back and then trying to carry it over and lining it up with the checkers here so that the ribbon lays straight across the front. If you're short on ribbon, you do not have to ribbon the entire underneath of the snow globe. You could leave a gap underneath the snow globe. No one would ever see that. Again, I'm just covering it with my 120-pound scrap cardstock, and then I'm doing a second layer of cardstock over top of everything, including the ribbon, keeping everything sealed in and layered up nicely. This gives it a little bit of extra oomph on the top of the card, kind of like if I put foam tape there. Great way to get rid of scrap papers. And we're going to foam tape the back of the snow globe again, and again leave a gap where the ribbon's going to go. That way it'll lay flat. And another branding strip inside the interior, and I used the branding strips in the interior and not the other side of the paper that we trimmed off, because the other side can be used on the card front more easily because there's no hole. With a branding strip, you can only really use it on the front of the card or the interior if you're either cutting the hole off and using not the whole strip, or if you have something that you can put over top of the hole that makes sense for the card. And there's our 2 cards. Thanks so much for joining, and watch out for part 2 coming soon.